Good evening and welcome Nevada Camera Club members and guests to the Nevada Camera Club Electronic Image Competition for May 2025. A couple of reminders before we get started this evening. For those who wish to have copy included in the June newsletter, please remember to submit it no later than this coming Tuesday evening. Also, Alan Duff has asked me to announce that the field trip to the World Market Center is full and no additional reservations can be made. So please, if you signed up for this, make sure that you attend because Alan's gone through a lot of effort to get this moving for us, and it sounds like it'll be an exciting day. Also, there will be an e-notice coming out later this evening about some grids that are available to members from a member of our organization who recently passed away. Janice Phillips is facilitating the distribution of those grids. And so if it is something you might be interested in, please look for that to come out after our competition this evening. Our competition staff this evening includes setup assistants from Stephen Cupp, Craig Hicks, Linda Hicks, and Mary Sheets. Announcer this evening is Linda Hicks. Our projectionist is Stephen Cupp. Our scorekeeper is Mary Sheets. And our merit recorder is Juliana Stratton. Our judges this evening, in Chair 1, we have Harry Guman. In Chair 2, we have Janice Phillips. Chair 3, Jerome Hamilton, when he joins us. Chair 4, Gary Galvin. Chair 5, Steve O'Melia. And Chair 6, Craig Hicks. This evening, we had 34 members who entered 92 images in 37 unique categories. Included in our entries are 3 brand new members who have not entered previously, so we're excited to have some new members adding to the competition with some entries. Those of you who have live mics, please make sure you have silenced your cell phones or turned them off. Judges, when you make your comments, please remember to include a strength as well as a suggestion for improvement. And now, here is your Nevada Camera Club Electronic Image Competition for May 2025. We will be starting with judges 1, 4, and 5. Our first category is abstract, and we have beginner color abstract, Bellagio. Scores? 888. Comment, please.
For a beginner, I think this is very well done. There's the eye actually goes right in the center, and then you kind of look around other places. The image is in focus. In terms of improvement, maybe a different composition, which didn't really have that a very bright spot above the middle red, and avoid having such a prominent piece right in the middle. Just maybe like have it a little bit to the side. That would make it a little bit stronger.
The image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Jerome, you are judge number 3 this evening.
Thank you.
And we will have judges 1, 3, and 5, please, for intermediate color abstract, Muscles Out of Water. Scores? 777.
On this one. It's a cool image. I like the image itself with the muscles and all that, a lot of detail and all that. It's just not abstract because A, the title tells you what it is and you can see what it is. But I like the image on a different category.
Image received a 21 was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 4, and 6, please, for advanced color, animals and pets. Costa's hummingbird. Scores? 988.
I really like this image. I like the diagonal. I like the fact that the hummingbird's beak is in the flower. It's extremely sharp. The feathers, you know, the one wing is showing movement and the eye is sharp. I think you did a great job.
Image received a 25. Same judges, same category. First steps. Scores? 999.
Okay. This is really has a lot of impact immediately because of just the framing. Even though the subject is somewhat in the center, it works because the light coming down from above and spraying out, and everything is nice and sharp, and we have a good expression. If birds have expressions, but and interesting on the placement.
I like the colors, the beak, bright red and the bright in the reddish legs, and I like all of all of the branches and twigs that the bird is resting on. And the background is good too.
Image received a 27. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with first steps and going back 1 to Costa's hummingbird. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Costa's hummingbird. Scores? 222. So the judges have chosen first steps. Judges 1, 4, and 5, please, for advanced monochrome animals and pets. A Waddell seal sleeps in Antarctica.
Did you say 1?
I did say 1.
Okay.
1, 4, and 5. Scores? 988.
The 9, I'll say that. I was like thinking between 8 and 9. This is actually the most remarkable seal photo I've ever seen. It's just like usually I don't associate them with very beautiful animals, but this is done very well.
The image received a 25 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color animals and pets. Don't fall in. Scores 888.
I'll go. I like the image. It's a nice image. The clouds are nice. The horizon is flat. We got a little action. We got the dude up on the top staring at you. It probably would have scored higher if the sheep on the right wasn't kind of partly hidden behind the rock. If he'd taken a step up, it would have probably done better.
Image received a 24. Same judges, same category. The Meeting. Scores 888.
Okay, the composition is very nice. This is master category, and we lose the focus on the flowers there, and also on the bird at the farthest screen right there, and that just sort of brought it down to an 8 for me. Otherwise, if they'd all been nice and sharp, there was really nice selection, and having three of them there was a was a lucky break. But fuzziness there, the fuzzy bird on the far right dinged it.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with The Meeting and going back 1 to Don't Fall In. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Don't Fall In. Scores 221. So the judges have chosen The Meeting. Judges 1, 3, and 4, please. We're in creative category now, and we will start with advanced color creative, escalators, and mirrors.
What are the judges' numbers?
1, 3, and 4. Scores 788.
Okay, I was looking at this and I got creative to kind of see the image then reflection there, but the balance for some reason just feels awkward in that band with the cyan tinted escalators going across. Doesn't seem to fit into the image with a with any balance with any other element.
Image received a 23. Milky Last Supper. Scores 899.
I'll go ahead and talk a minute. I really really like the image. I think kudos in lighting all of the figures at the bottom for the Last Supper. I think that looks great, and I think some of those lights are already there these days. They used to not be, but the Milky Way is handled really well. Um, I went 9 because I really like the image and there's a little bit of creativity. And I think more of the creativity is in the photographer's mind because I don't think there's a lot of creativity in the image itself. But I do like it a lot. That's why I scored it higher.
Mhm.
Image received a 26. Artistic expression.
What category are we in?
This is advanced color creative. Scores? 898.
Well, I'm looking at the image here, and I think there's a sky treatment there with the swirls and everything. What was I think the picture may have been improved if the take and the we didn't have the horizon line straight across the middle, splitting the image in an upper and a lower half. That's what's bouncing back and forth.
Image received a 25. Flower flies. Scores? 988.
I'm the 9. Uh, I'm the 9 because I, I saw an immediate impact. And then I actually looked around and said, okay, technically, what is it? And I was quite satisfied with that. So from an impact standpoint, I really liked it.
Image received a 25. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with flower flies, going back 1 to artistic expression, and going back 1 to Milky Last Supper. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Milky Last Supper. Scores? 2, 3, 1. Artistic expression. Scores? 3, 2, 2. And flower flies. Scores? 1, 1, 3. So the judges have chosen flower flies for first. Try and say that fast 3 times. In second is Milky Last Supper. And third, artistic expression. Judges 2, 3, and 5, please, for advanced monochrome creative, mirror image.
Which judges?
2, 3, and 5. Scores? 999.
This image has a lot of impact as soon as it shows up. I really love it. I mean, I love the background that it's all dots and then the circles in the circles. or if you see the stars instead. And the black and white is really effective in this image.
Image received a 27 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for Master Color Creative, pink. Scores? 889.
I got the 9. I'll go with that. I like the angle. I love the softness on this. For me, the border on there kind of highlights it. It kind of puts it, kind of centers it. I like the softness and just kind of the angle and just.
Judges 1, 2, and 3, please. We're in Advanced Color Documentary, 96 pumps. Scores? 898.
I think for a documentary, this is handled really well. It took me a minute to find the 96, but I found it. So I think that's a kind of a plus. Not always having the title adds to it most of these times these days, but that definitely didn't take away from it. I like the color, good colors in chevron. I like the angle. Probably the most amazing part for me is that you really don't have too many vehicles in there for 96 pumps.
The image received a 25. Palouse Barn. Scores? 888.
Again, I think for a documentary, it's a great image. I love the Palouse. I love those rolling fields. The view of the barn, I do like you have three sections. So you've got three complete, the brown, the green, and the blue sky. Barn falls into the left third. What kind of takes away from you a little bit is that the top of that barn just kind of meets your top horizon line. I think if you could have been down a little bit so it kind of broke that horizon line, or if you could have been higher at any way just to bring it into the grass area, I think that would have added just that extra little bump for you.
Image received a 24. Life-giving rain. Janice, have you frozen? I think she has. Moment while we get her back. While we're waiting to get our judge back, does anybody have any good photo tips for the weekend, places they're going to be going out to and snapping since it's Memorial Day weekend?
I did happen to be out in Boulder City today, and I saw they're setting up it was at the Boulder City Art Festival.
Ah,
It looks like it's going to be pretty busy. I don't know if that's good photo ops or not, because I don't know exactly what all happens out there, but
well, and of course they always have all the flags at the National Cemetery that's down there
right.
as well.
I'm going to be in Columbus, Ohio. Do you have any tips do they celebrate Memorial Day in a big way?
No, but there's a great fun restaurant, at least there used to be, that was Firehouse 57 or something like that, which has a pole that wait staff slides down,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
usually with empty trays, not with full trays.
I was going to ask that next if they
Yeah.
have their drinks and stuff
No,
on the tray when
no.
they come down.
That would be rather dangerous. But it's been a long time since I've been there. It may have gone out of business since then. But Columbus is a nice town.
Mhm.
Well, if
I'm
we
heading up for a steak dinner up at Ely at that JT Steakhouse they got up there. Guess they have the ranch right outside of town where they get their meat from and cook it up right in town and do something at the train and then stop by Belmont for a night at the old ghost town.
Nice.
I'm going to see if we're going to get Janice back. If not, we'll punt.
Can you switch the judge for this picture?
Well, we'd have to switch it for the whole category since we've already had two of them judged.
Okay.
Did you try and text her?
That's what I'm doing right now. Nothing like technology to help us out a little bit here.
Exactly.
Well, the real test was last time when Jerome and I were trying to get the TV going.
Yes.
And it's not like Jerome doesn't have experience. Janice says she seems to have been kicked off and can't seem to get back on. I'm going to tell her to keep trying, but we will reassign as we go. She doesn't have internet is the problem.
Okay.
So good.
Hang on a second while I get that text. Okay. What we're going to do is go back and look at the first two images again. And judge number 6, if you will give me a score for those first two images, and then we'll have all three judges reveal their scores for this. So Stephen, if you'll go back to 96 pumps, please. Judge number 6, if you'll show me a score for that, please. That's an 8. Thank you. Okay, the Palouse Barn. That's a 7. Okay, now all three judges, please. Life-Giving Rain. Scores? 8, 7, 8.
Documentary. I think this really does fit the category. I love the rain part of it, that color in the sky. If you crop off that top and make this a long streamline, then you focus right on that rain area, which is what you're trying to show. I think the white, even though those clouds are a little bit nice on top, all that bright white coming in on the top left is not helping the image. So I think just a simple crop right there where the clouds are dark would really bring the scores up on this.
Image received a 23. Perfect Calypso pass. Scores? Harry, score please. 888.
I think this is very well timed shot, and at least from my point of view, the line that they are going in is like doesn't seem quite horizontal. The left side is kind of like, and the image is tilted up.
Image received a 24. Black rhinos. Scores? 899.
I'm one of the nines. I like, this is a terrific image. You see their eyes, they're in nicely focused, and the foreground and the background is out of focus. So you really, your attention is to the three rhinos. That's good.
I'm gonna talk real quick just because I almost went 8 on this and I stayed with the 9. To catch the rhinos in the layout they're in is absolutely incredible. I would really have liked to seen either there a little bit more room on top or a little bit more room on the bottom, so they're a little bit more in that third. But the impact of just seeing them in this order is really what overpowers anything else.
Image received a 26. Judges, there are 3 images to review for placement, starting with black rhinos, going back 1 to perfect Calypso pass, and going back 3 to 96 pumps. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for 96 pumps. Scores? 222. Perfect Calypso pass. Scores? 333, which means you chose black rhinos for first. Judges 1, 5, and 6, please, for advanced monochrome documentary, Rebar. Scores? 887.
7. The title is rebar, and apparently rebar is the car, but the background is so complex and distracting, it takes away from takes your attention away from looking at the car, the rebar.
Image received
Uh,
at,
Can I make a quick comment?
sure.
Clean up your spots up in the sky.
Okay. Image received at 23 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master monochrome documentary, Duke University Cathedral. Scores? 888.
So this is very pretty cathedral. I love cathedrals. I photograph a lot of them. You're in a nice spot, and there's no people in there. The improvement opportunity here is the perspective correction, which probably means that you should have actually shot it more wide angle and then made the vertical lines straight.
Image received at 24 was the only image in the category. Judges 4, 5, and 6, please. We're doing beginner color nature wildlife. Fred G. Bond, Metro Park. Scores? 999.
Okay.
Very
Okay,
good for beginner. Go ahead, Gary.
Oh, I was just going to say, in beginner category, this is great because the photographer is working on a lot of things here, bringing a lot of things to bear here. One, doesn't have he or she does not have the word dead center, and so we've got the rule of thirds kind of working here. The background is subliminally out of focus, so controlling depth of focus and overall exposure. Very good for a beginner's effort.
Yeah, this is a terrific image for a beginner. One of the best I've seen for a beginner, really.
Image received at 27. Tiny prize. Scores? 898.
So for a beginner, the bird is very clear. I really like that. The eagle is. Kind of debated between an 8 and a 9 because you have the ducks or the geese down the bottom, which are a little bit distracting. But I think I can understand why you would put those there just to add a little bit to it. I would still crop it down a little bit.
Image received at 25. The bighorn. Scores? 888.
This is another great image by a beginner. I like the animals are mostly in focus. You can see the eyes of the front one. The background and the foreground are pretty much out of focus. Nicely done by a beginner, really.
Image received at 24. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with the bighorn, going back 1 to tiny prize, and going back 1 to Fred G. Bond Metro Park. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3 for Fred G. Bond Metro Park. 111. Tiny Prize. 222. And that means you chose 333 for the Bighorn. So Fred G. Bond Metro Park got our first place ribbon there. We're moving into intermediate nature wildlife color. Judges 1, 5, and 6, please. For Can't You Tell I'm Starving?
We are in beginner.
We are in intermediate.
Intermediate. Okay.
Scores 899.
I like the squirrel is his head is and eyes are in focus and parts of the body are in focus. He's nicely placed. The composition is nice. He got some diagonal lines there with the wood. And I like the side light coming in with his with the darkness there. Nice done. Nicely done.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. Excuse me. Judges 3, 4, and 5, please. For advanced color, nature wildlife, baby crocodile.
Okay.
Scores 888.
Okay.
I really love the color palette, the subtleness from the rock to the alligator. He's really blended in there, and you've been able to capture that. I like the slim line. That kind of gives him a lot more length, even though I think he's kind of tiny. He feels like he's really long just being in that slim line. I feel like it's out of focus, but I don't think it is. I do think that is a cause of this being such a high ISO. You can see all the noise in the top. I didn't really score down for that. I'm just bringing that up because eight's a very good score, and I think this is a very nice image.
Yes.
Image received a 24. Inyo Forest Lake. Scores 787.
I'll go with the 7. I mean, it looks like it was really nice to be there. The color down the bottom just it seems kind of flat. The green and the rock, everything just kind of blends together. There doesn't seem to be much color separation between the difference there, and it seems kind of flat. Maybe bring out the colors if you can.
Image received a 22. Looking back. Scores? 999.
All right, we got a great expression on the animal here, and it's just like looking right at camera. So got a good story working here with just the bear pausing to take a look back at who's taking my picture here. So and the background is just nicely bokeh to the really frame the bear nicely, and a little edge lighting around the back there sets the bear off wonderfully.
Image received a 27. A leafcutter bee in action.
Ooh.
Scores? 889.
I'll go with the 9. I like the image because it's extremely sharp, and to get a bug that sharp that's actually moving and all that with the detail that's all around it is very nice.
Image received a 25. Judges, there are 3 images to review for placement, starting with a leafcutter bee in action, going back 1 to looking back, and going back 2 to baby crocodile. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for baby crocodile. Scores? 233. Looking back. Scores? 111. And leafcutter bee in action. Scores?
I think I'm, no. No, I have to be the 3, sorry. I had the wrong number up,
322.
correct.
Okay, so the judges have chosen looking back for first and leafcutter bee in action for second. Judges 1, 3, and 6, please. Advanced monochrome nature wildlife, braving the weather. Scores? 888.
It's a classic picture, and everybody hopes to get one of these. I think the composition is very nice, and the way he's kind of looking at the photographer is actually very pleasing. And so all in all, you can see some of the snow falling as well. So nice image.
If
Image,
you look close enough, you can see the eyes there too.
image received a 24 was the only image in the category. Same judges for master color nature wildlife. On guard. Scores? 887.
I'm the 7. The hummingbirds really aren't in focus that well. And I would have cropped some of the top and bottom off also.
Image received a 23. Did you see that? Scores? 999.
I think the stick is a nice leading line into the birds that are perched on the end of it. Their colors against that soft diffuse background really makes them pop out, and the focus on both birds looks really nice from the chest to the eyes.
Image received at 27. Judges, there are 2 images to review for placement, starting with "Did you see that?" and going back 1 to "On guard." Judges, a 1 or 2, please, for "On guard." Scores? 222. So the judges have chosen "Did you see that?" Judges 4, 5, and 6, please. Advanced color people. The Annoyed Artist. Scores? 877.
I'm one of the sevens. I love the expression on his face. I kind of figured out what he's doing with the masks, but the background is really distracting and it's crooked.
Image received at 22. Portrait of the Blacksmith. Scores? 999.
Okay, I'm one of the nines, and I'm going to jump in because this is not an easy picture to take technically. Not that we're judging on the technicality of it, but to catch this, like the action going on there, the beautiful lighting on the subject's face. The only thing I may have think that would improve the picture a little bit is just to crop in a little bit on the left side there. But the image is just striking, and it's got great impact.
I'm a little surprised with all the sparks flying close to his head, towards his head, that he's not wearing eye protection.
He's not a photographer.
Image received at 27. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with Portrait of the Blacksmith and going back 1 to The Annoyed Artist. Judges, a 1 or 2, please, for The Annoyed Artist. 222. So the judges have chosen Portrait of the Blacksmith. Same judges, please, for Master Color People. The conclave is in session. Scores? 988.
I give like an 8.5.
Whole numbers only.
Yeah, damn. Because the whole image is really good. The colors, the lighting for me is everything really good. The dude on the left is missing feet.
I just real fast. I thought I'm the 9, and I like the way the diagonal line was working there, and it just gave a great balance between the juxtaposition of the 2 figures.
Image received at 25 was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 3, and 5, please. Beginner monochrome photojournalism, Answering the Call. Scores? 888.
Really, really nice image for a beginner. Leading line, the Las Vegas scaffold is coming in from the fire truck, or the ladder rather. Three guys up there really makes it look nice. A couple guys walking on the bottom. You can see the smoke coming out of the building. The only thing you really need to do is add a little bit of contrast so you have a little more definition in that smoke in the sky. And I would also crop a little bit of the sky out. It's not helping any.
Image received a 24 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for intermediate color photojournalism. 2 Fremont Street survival strategies. Scores 878.
I think you had a good eye on capturing this to see the two different variations on people's lives. I would have moved over to the left, got the boy with the garbage can in more. You didn't really need the whole art picture because you're focusing on the photographer and the homeless person. So you could have just moved over and got a little bit more of the people and it would have raised the score.
Image received a 23 was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 3, and 6, please. Advanced color photojournalism. Megan Kraft digs the ball. Scores 989.
I'm one of the nines. This is a really incredible image. The player's kind of diagonal line in the air. The sand behind her is disturbed, and the ball is up in the air above her, and all that is in focus, and all the background is not in focus as it should be. With just incredible picture for intermediate.
It's advanced.
Advanced.
The image received a 26. Hands off. Scores 898.
I think this is a really great capture, being at the right place at the right time with for a minute I wanted everybody kind of looking in a single direction, but I think the chaos of them looking in every direction kind of goes with the chaos of all the different signs, even the flag being upside down, and then having an Elvis in there. I think is just a good focus, a good story that really has a lot of impact.
Image received a 26. Getting stumped. Scores? 999.
That
Wow.
image, yeah, that image has so much impact. I mean, you don't even want to look at it because you feel so bad for the guy on the ground. I mean, just that angle of the bull and the expression on that bull and all the people watching and the guy getting on the fence. I mean, this was a great shot.
You can even see the bull spit there, I think.
Yes, that is.
This image received a 27. I misannounced what the score was on the last image. It was a 25, not a 26. I apologize. Got one more in this category, and it's entitled Havana Movers. Scores? 778.
I'm the
Yeah.
8.
Go ahead.
I was thinking either a 7.5 or an 8, but I gave him the 8. I like the red in the truck and the colors, the blue. And it does look like a Havana moving truck. But the background is in focus, and maybe it would have been better if it wasn't in focus. And also the left front tire of the truck is cropped off. It would be better if that was all there.
I just want to say one thing. It's like I love the picture. I like the green. I like the colors and everything Craig said is great. I'd love to have that front tire, but without that title, there's no story to this image. It doesn't really tell me anything.
Image received a 22. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, going back 1 to Getting Stomped, going back 1 to Hands Off, and going back 1 to Megan Kraft Digs the Ball. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Megan Kraft Digs the Ball. Scores? 221. Hands Off. Scores? 332. And Getting Stomped. Scores? Okay, we've got 2 1s were given when they shouldn't have been. So I'll put 111. Go back to Megan Kraft Digs the Ball. If we can see the scores for that again, please. 222. Okay. And Hands Off. Scores 333. Okay, we're good. So the judges have chosen Getting Stomped. Judges 2, 3, and 4, please, for Advanced Monochrome Photojournalism, Behind the Board Dunk. Scores 998.
I like this image. The guy, hanging off the hoop, being in white helps you draw to his, person. It's that kid with his mouth open that really makes this image. I mean, it's just really cool. I mean, could be a little bit more separation maybe between the background bit because of his expression and the guy in the hoop, it gives it a little separation, and I really enjoy this image.
Image received a 26. Overuse at Mesa Arch.
Linda, what's the category and all the
This
information?
is advanced monochrome photojournalism. Scores 998.
I'm probably biased and scored this higher just because of my presentation at the program meeting, because this is the epitome of what I was talking about. But actually, it has a lot of good compositional design with the guy here with the tripod in the front and all his bags and stuff out. Everybody else just kind of tapers off to the left. I think that really adds a lot of interest to the image. Sky's handled well, the arch is there, and a lot of detail and stuff throughout the image is nice.
Image received a 26. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with overuse at Mesa Arch and going back 1 to behind the board dunk. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for behind the board dunk. Scores 222. So the judges have chosen overuse at Mesa Arch. Same judges, please, for master color photojournalism, Thunderbird formation. Scores 888.
I really love the formation, great capture, lots of that smoke coming out of the back really adds a lot of interest. I think the only reason they got not 8s instead of 9s is I feel like there's little halos around each airplane, and I think it's just kind of overworked a little bit for this image.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Judges 1, 2, and 4, please, for beginner color pictorial, spring, Las Vegas style. Scores 888.
It's a very nice composition. And looking at the vertical and horizontal lines, so that has been actually accounted for correctly. There's there's no really extra things in there. So I think the composition is actually pretty good, and the color representation comes out very well. So good job.
The image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for beginner monochrome pictorial, shopping trip. Scores 878.
Okay, I was one of the with 8, and I went with that because for a beginner to take and go out and look, just tell a story, and that's what I think the photographer was trying to do here. We see the aircraft in flight and the kiosk here or tower or something like that. So it was a trying to put these elements together. I thought was a good exercise and an effort being made.
Image received a 23, was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for intermediate color pictorial, Dam Tourist and Visitors Center. Scores? 788.
I'm the 7. There's a lot of stuff going on. The exposure is actually done very well. The composition is okay. I mean, just from the placement of the tower in the one corner and everything. But my preference would have been like maybe crop a little bit and then just not have so much and just show that make your story with a little bit less.
The image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 5, and 6, please, for advanced color pictorial, Silk Waters. Scores? 888.
I like the movement in the water. That was done quite nicely. The background's in focus, and that's fine. I like the green colors and the yellowish tint to some of the rock is looks nice too.
Image received a 24. Serenity. Scores? 998.
I like this. It's a very impactful image. As soon as you look at it, you kind of go, wow. The minimalist portion of it is it's hard to do minimalist kind of photos. I love the stream kind of leading you into it. And it just kind of is very impactful image.
Image received a 26. Anangu Creek, the Amazon. Scores? 877.
I'm one of the 7s. It first looking at it was a little hard to tell what it was. Then after a few seconds, well, you see the reflections there. There's really, and that's nicely done, but there really isn't anything that attracts your attention. No center of interestedness.
Image received at 22. Horseshoe Bend. Scores? 879.
Okay.
Nine.
Go.
I'm the 9. Famous spot here. You kind of fight for space to get this image. And the sun is almost just beyond below the horizon. And I think it has quite an impact.
Image received at 24. Does our low person want to comment on it as well?
Yeah, my thing is, I think your biggest enemy was just the color. The cloud just kind of hazed out the sun. It wasn't very clear. I think the colors could have been a little bit better on it. And I think part of it is just the environmental conditions for me were against you on this one.
Okay, 24. Early morning. Scores? 988.
I'm the 9. I think you did a great job on the composition. I like all the rocks in the front, the colors on the mountains. I wasn't sure that's correct color, but I kept focusing on that, and it just makes this image have a lot of impact.
Image received at 25. Mona Lake Tufa. Scores? 788.
On the low score, I don't know, the composition just doesn't excite me here. And I've been there, and so I think there's just different ways or different places you could have stood maybe to make this be more impactful.
Image received at 23. Sublime Sunset. Scores? 787.
One of the 7s. Looking at the image, can't tell what it is exactly. It's I think it would have done well in creative maybe, but I can't tell that it's a horizon, and there's no image. There's nothing in here that shows the sun setting.
Image received at 22. Natural Beauty. Scores? 989.
I'm the low on this one, the 8. It's a really good image. It's clear all the way through. I love the road going through there. To me, it just seems like the sky was a little bit overworked. Just has a funny color to it.
Image,
I like the change in colors, going from green and a little brown to mostly white and little, darker brown mixed in, and then the brighter reddish brown. And in the far background, you got a dark brown. I think it's really a terrific image.
image received a 26. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with natural beauty, going back 3 to early morning, and going back 3 to serenity. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for serenity. Scores 1, 1, 2. Early morning. Scores 3, 3, 3. And natural beauty. Scores 2, 2, 1. So the judges have chosen serenity. Our next category is master color pictorial. Judges 2, 3, and 4, please. Sea to sky.
Who are the judges, Linda?
2, 3, and 4, please. Scores 8, 9, 8.
I think this is a really nice composition. I love that mountain that you captured. I would like to see it more contrasty, like get that sky, the purple's darker. So the greens would become darker and even a little bit more contrast in that mountain. And I would give it a 9.
Image received a 25. Painted sky. Scores 8, 8, 8.
Okay, I was one of the 8s. The image has a really nice composition. I think the picture would have been improved if some of the foreground, that first little white flower, had been clipped above that to really emphasize the depth and perspective and force perspective a little bit more into the vanishing background. But the trees on the horizon poking up there are really nicely handled, but a little less in the foreground.
The image received a 24. Afternoon walk by Hagia Sophia.
We're still in pictorial, correct?
Correct. Scores 8, 8, 8.
I think this has great color. Love the building. I love the 2 people walking in there because that adds scale to the building in the background. The sky worked for you here. Really, I think would have helped a lot is if you went ahead and straightened the tower so that they're not cantilevered out. It would really help a lot with the architecture of this image.
Image received a 24. North Carolina Estate. Scores? 888.
I think it's a really nice image of a building. I love the sky. It really works for you here. I like the bottom with the road and the curves that come into it, and placing this bullseye actually really worked for this image.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a big pop to it, and other than that, it's a great image, a great score.
Yeah. Fantastic symmetry.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 4 images to review for placement, starting with North Carolina Estate, going back 1 to Afternoon Walk by Hagia Sophia, back 1 to Painted Sky, and back 1 to Sea to Sky. Do you need to see them again, or are you okay?
Please.
Okay. Sea to Sky, Painted Sky, Afternoon Walk by Hagia Sophia, and North Carolina Estate. Judges, 1, 2, 3, or 4, please, for North Carolina Estate. Scores? 4, 2, 3. Afternoon Walk by Hagia Sophia. Scores? 3, 4, 4. Painted Sky. Scores? 2, 3, 3. And Sea to Sky. Scores? 1, 1, 1. Unfortunately, we've got somebody who used 3 one time too many. So I'll assume there's no change on the 1, 1, 1. Let's go to Painted Sky.
Linda,
Yes.
you called out one, Painted Sky should be 232.
2, 3, 2. Okay.
Okay.
I'm getting blind in my old age. Then we're good. Thank you, Mary. So the judges have chosen Sea to Sky for first, in second, Painted Sky, and in third, North Carolina Estate. Okay. Judges 1, 2, and 3, please, for Advanced Color Portraiture, Confident.
What is the title again?
Confident. Scores? 988.
I think the image interface is very well done. The lighting is nice. I think what's bringing me down is, first of all, she's sitting on a box with words on it. So you could have used some kind of a blanket or some plain colored thing, or somehow you probably could have just cloned that out. And then the fact that her shoe is flipped out, the tongue of the shoe, if that was put in and tied up, that would improve the image.
Image received a 25 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for advanced monochrome portraiture, Cowgirl. Scores? 888.
I think the lighting is really good. It's handled well here. I don't think you did a lot. I think you kind of got lucky and found this, is what my impression is. But it worked. It worked really well for the image. I love the choice of the sepia tone. I was a little bit hesitant on the background. It is kind of busy, but I think it's blurry enough that it's okay. It kind of adds to the story of the cowgirl. What's really drawn me back, and I kind of struggled making it an 8, is where you cropped her hands off. She has like these long, stumpy things hanging on both sides of her, and not having the hands in the image makes it look really funny.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Jerome, are you needing to leave us?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate your service this evening.
Good luck, everybody.
Good night,
Okay.
Jerome.
Night.
Judges 1, 5, and 6, please, for advanced color still life, Standing Alone. Scores? 989.
I got the low. I'd say again, I would have given this like a 8.5, 9. The reflections on the glass is what drew me down. Otherwise, it's a really great image.
Image received a 26. Spring Blooms. Scores? 899.
One of the 9s. It's a terrific image. The blossoms and the leaves on this one branch are all sharp. The background is dark, not in focus, and the background is not. There's no light or image, issues with the background at all. The
Image,
lighting on this is good too.
image received a 26. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with Spring Blooms and going back 1 to Standing Alone. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Standing Alone. Scores? 1, 2, 2. So the judges have chosen Spring Blooms. Same judges, please. We are up to unclassified, and we have beginner unclassified. Thunderbirds coming and going.
Oh,
The beginner?
Beginner. Scores? 888.
all right. I'll go on this one. It would have scored better if it was just a little sharper, and I know that's a hard take. That's it's hard to do when you got these guys flying in all different directions. It's a really great image. Maybe would have cropped it in a little bit because you got some blank space on the left, 11 by 14 instead of the wide angle. But maybe toned it down a little bit. The guy on the left's tail is a little bit bright, but otherwise it's a really good image.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Advanced color unclassified, judges 1, 2, and 5, please. The Red Rose.
Just still life.
Unclassified.
Okay.
Scores? 899.
This is a beautiful image of the rose, but I was debating between 8 and 9 because this is unclassified. So you have a lot of freedom. So these white areas on the left, I would have totally toned those down, and it would definitely brought your total focus onto that beautiful rose. But I gave you 9, and it's a beautiful image.
Image received a 26. So that's what aliens look like. Scores? 888.
I think I have this same image from a trip up there a few years ago. I wonder if they're going to do the same thing coming up in a couple of weeks. Very cool image. I like it. I was there. It was a very interesting night for sure.
Image received a 24. Light painted homestead. Scores? 888.
I like the image. I like the person that's in the window looking out is really nice. I wish you would have maybe not quite as long as exposure. It seems like the colors are a little bit hot. But it's a good image with the stars and all that. And you got a little bit of blue on the tree on the right. Like I said, I like the woman looking out of it.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with light painted homestead, going back 1 to so that's what aliens look like, and going back 1 to the red rose. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for the red rose. Scores? 111. So that's what aliens look like. Scores? 322. And light painted homestead. Scores? 233. So the judges have chosen the red rose. Judges 4, 5, and 6, please. We are to our club challenge, which this month is asking us to include the moon. And we'll start with beginner. Museum of Dream Space. Scores 887.
On the 7, the moon is I think almost too bright. I guess I don't get what all the lights in the background are. Maybe if they're stars or what, and all the grass that the moon is resting on.
The image received a 23. Moonset at sunrise. Scores 898.
I like the image. It was it's a little bit bright or whatever. I mean, but for a beginner, this is a really nice image. Good timing on the moon, just kind of peeking up or going down actually. So I think it's really good.
Image received a 25. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with Moonset at sunrise and going back to Museum of Dream Space. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Museum of Dream Space. Scores 122. So the judges have chosen Moonset at sunrise. Judges 1, 5, and 6, please. We are to the intermediate category, crescent moon sunset. Scores 777.
It meets the category. When you look at the image, most of it is about the clouds and the trees. And from a composition standpoint, you were forced to actually go higher, and it would be nicer if you could actually get more of the trees in there too, from a perspective standpoint.
Image received a 21. A rising celestial body. Scores 887.
I'm the 7. I think the main interest of the image is not the moon, but the foreground with the I guess those are yucca trees and the grass and other plants there, and the reddish sky. The moon is, just a small part of it.
Image received a 23. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with a rising celestial body and going back 1 to crescent moon sunset. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for crescent moon sunset. Scores 222. So the judges have chosen a rising celestial body. Okay, judges 1, 4, and 6, please. This is the advanced take on the club challenge, which includes the moon. Thunderbird Delta Moon. Scores 878.
I'm one of the eights. I like the diagonal lines of the contrails with from the jets, and the moon is not hidden by any of the contrails. It's right in the center. I like how that was done.
Image received a 23. Apocalyptic. Scores 788.
Okay, I'm one of the eights. Technically, this is not the moon, it's the sphere, but I've got to give them a bonus a nod for taking and either photoshopping the moon in there or catching it when they were displaying the moon on the sphere. But this is to meeting the category of moon in the shot really puts it in your face. I thought it's nicely done.
Image received a 23. Night lights over Las Vegas. Scores 788.
Nice a panoramic photo of the strip, and you have the moon. In my opinion, the image is a bit too contrasty in terms of when the moon actually, if there was like some blue sky, etc., or something else going on, it would balance out the image a bit more.
Image received a 23. Earthshine. Scores 797.
Okay, I'm the 9 on this because I thought the challenge was the moon in the shot. Well, this is definitely the moon is getting in the shot, and the creative use of an eclipse here to submit for the challenge here.
Would one of the sevens like to speak to it?
Yeah, it's at first I couldn't tell if it was the moon. And are we also, I guess this is the moon in front of the sun. Is that right? Yeah, and I'm not crazy about the border work either, but
Image received a 23. Moon covered with map like cloud. Scores 778.
I'd say the moon is in focus, but the clouds in the front, especially the ones on the lower left, they're actually distracting and just yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just
Image received a 22. Blood moon eclipse. Scores 789.
On the 9, I just really like this image, the colors, the reds, the different phases of the moon, and you get some stars in there too. And I like how the various moons are placed around the full moon in the center.
Image received a 24. High moon. Scores 788. 78. Show those to me again, please. 787. Comment?
yeah. So it's interesting that the moon is high, and it just but in my opinion, if the moon was actually lower, it would have made a better image because it just right now, I mean, there's like you have some of the ground and then some clouds which are not that spectacular, and then you have moon out there by itself. If the composition was closer to each other, it would be more pleasing.
Image received a 22. Blue moon cocktail. Scores 788.
One of the 8s. I like how you get the yellow and the blue colors. They go together really well. And it's a reflection, but I think it's very, very creatively done.
Mhm.
Image received a 23. Little Finland.
Okay.
Scores 787.
It's a nice image of little Finland, and incidentally, there's moon in it. However, it would have been a lot more impactful if you had like rising or setting moon, which um, complemented the rocks a little bit more.
Image received a 22. Morning moon. Scores? 777.
So most of the image is the hill, the trees, and the clouds. I mean, it would have been more interesting if there was something more spectacular going on in the cloud. Looks like it was close to the sunrise or something like that. But it just the moon itself is not contributing much to the image.
Image received a 21. Warthog in the moon. Scores? 788.
Okay, I'm one of the eights. I can't say for sure whether or not the moon was photoshopped in, but if it was, then it was nicely done, and the blending of the colors and the tint on it really matched the sky. And what made the image nice is the fact it's more square shaped, and we have the diagonal contrails splitting the screen between the two. So the Club Challenge Moon in the Shot, I think, really it fits the category well.
Image received a 23. Reaching for the moon. Scores? 979.
I'm one of the nines. I think this is really impactful. You got the aircraft. It's almost like flying into the moon. It's in focus, and the moon is the background. And you can even see the pilot in the plane, but it's heading into the moon, and it makes the moon included in the image. It's a category.
Image received a 25. Moonset at sunrise. Scores? 777.
Okay, the moon is just totally blown out here. I think what the photographer's trying to do is capture the mood of the light in the early morning hours, but instead we kind of got this awkwardly cropped rooftops and mountaintops. I see they're going for the balance between the rooftops and the mountain peaks here, but getting the moon absolutely just blown out, just that's what dinged it.
Image received a 21. Blood moon over Las Vegas. Scores? 888.
I think that the color of the moon nicely contrasts with the black sky, and then you've got the lights of Vegas that look terrific there too. But the moon really gets your attention.
Image received at 24. Flying past the moon. Scores? 797.
I'm one of the sevens. I think the sky is too bright, and then it's sort of hiding the plane as well as hiding the moon.
I'm the 9, and the reason I did that because I thought this was a creative use of the of the subject putting the moon in the shot here, and we have the plane and the juxtaposition of the bright behind the tail of it there, and then the nose part and and then the moon behind it there. I think it just sort of comes together to take and really give a dramatic image there, and the brightness there doesn't bother me too much with it there, but I like the moodiness of the and then and working the moon into that.
Image received at 23. Surprisingly, you have 3 images to review for placement. Going back,
Bless you.
going back 1 to Blood Moon over Las Vegas. Going back 2 to Reaching for the Moon. Going back 6 to Blood Moon Eclipse. Want to see those 3 again to
Yes, please.
straighten them out in your brain? Okay, Blood Moon Eclipse, forward to Reaching for the Moon, and then Blood Moon over Las Vegas. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Blood Moon over Las Vegas. Scores? Harry? 2, 3, 3. Reaching for the Moon. Scores 1, 2, 1. And Blood Moon Eclipse. Scores 3, 1, 2. So the judges have chosen Reaching for the Moon first and Blood Moon Eclipse second. Okay, thank you. We need judges 1, 4, and 5 for the Master Club Challenge.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. Thank you. 2, 4, and 5. Sorry, Harry. Judges 2, 4, and 5. And we'll start with Thule Ilk's Calling. Score 989.
Okay, I'm the 8. The reason I did it 8 is because this is a master category, and the moon is up full and everything like that, but the lighting imbalance between we have the subjects, the foreground, and the animals and the sky is just contradictory. So I think if they had been a different treatment of the one of the two elements there, the moon or the foreground, to take and bring it into congruence with we expect to see sort of a nighttime shot here. The moon has obviously been, photoshopped in, which is nice compositionally, but I I couldn't give it a 9 because it just didn't feel like a moonlit type shot. The moon doesn't feel like it belongs there.
Image received a 26. Fly me to the moon. Scores 897.
Yeah, I'm the 7 on that one. Obviously, there was a lot of people at the air show a couple weeks ago getting all their moon shots with the Thunderbirds. The moon is kind of nice. The Thunderbirds are just way blown out, and it could have been cropped in a little bit.
Okay. I just want to add a comment that I'm the 9, and the reason I look at that is that even though the aircraft are blown out, looking at it graphically, just as you see, there's the I see the aircraft and the contrails as a graphic element juxtaposition against the moon.
Image received a 24. Moonage daydream. Scores 988.
I think this is a really good image. I like the slim line on this. It would have got a 9, except for the kind of dark spots up that bounced along the top of it, and then the white border that's, I don't know whether it wasn't cropped in enough or something like that, but there's just that slim white edge around it. Get rid of those little dark spots up on the top, and it's a really good image.
Image received a 25. Under the Dubai moon. Scores 999.
Yeah, this is a really beautiful image. The black and white densities are nice. I mean, the moon, you mean the curvature and then the pointed top all leads to the moon. Really, really nicely done.
Image received a 27. Moon over the Strat. Scores 989.
Very nice image. Yeah, it's the colors are really nice on it. The clarity of the moon is phenomenal. You can see the crater marks and the lines going across it. Very nice image.
Image received a 26. Lunar eclipse. Scores 877.
It's nice you captured the lunar eclipse, and I shot it the other night also. And you've got a little movement, because on the left side of the moon, you can see, it had moved. So that kind of brings down the image. So it's not quite as sharp as it should be.
Image received a 22. Super blood moon. Scores? 888.
It's a beautiful image of the dunes. It just doesn't feel right with that moon right there. It's just something not quite feeling wise. Like,
Jump in just quickly. I think I concur with Janice. The shadows from the moonlight and everything like that. It just says it's not fitting together. It's not fitting together.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement. Going back 3 images to Moon Over the Strat. Back 1 to Under the Dubai Moon. And back 3 to Tule Elks Calling. You okay, or do you need to see them again?
I'm good.
Okay. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3 for Tule Elks Calling. Scores 3, 2, 3. Under the Dubai Moon. Scores 1, 1, 1. And Moon Over the Strat. Scores 2, 3, 2. So the judges have chosen Under the Dubai Moon. Thank you, judges. Thank you, competition staff. The results of the competition will be included in the June issue of Focal Expressions, and the competition will also be available on YouTube. Thank you all very much this evening, and we hope to see you at our program meeting, which comes up in just a couple of weeks on June 13th.